Please like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new video updates.
The only kind of music that pleases God is his own music.
Yes, sir.
Sacred music that sings his praises.
Right, man.
Amen. Amen. May the Lord forgive you for turning his sacred song into a tune for evil jigging.
You listen to me. I promise that the Lord will wreak his vengeance upon you unless you obey his commands.
And I take this oath. I will follow your coffin to the grave before I see you become a maker of music for the devil.
And it's a respectable profession.
That's very important to you, isn't it?
It is to any woman, Will. If you love somebody, you want to be proud of him, too.
You're going sweet on that man?
The only thing I've gone sweet on is the music he writes.
Say, Gogo, where are you from?
St. Louis. Ever been there? Lots of pretty girls in St. Louis.
Elizabeth, don't lecture me.
I hereby convey all mechanical rights, including phonograph records and player piano rolls, as well as sheet music, for the sum of $50. So you got all you're gonna get, man.
$50. I can't remember ever being able to please you.
You want to do what's best for him.
What's best for him or best for you?
I think you're a very bad influence on him.
I think you have things a little backwards, honey. You may be a good judge of women, but you have a lot to learn about Will Handy.
I can't go any place of you, Elizabeth. I'm going blind.
And see Beale Street first. If Beale...
Two kinds of music. The devils and the lords. The devils and the lords. The devils. The devils. The devils.
Will's gone, Reverend Andy. When I got here, he was gone.
April of 1958, the legendary Nat King Cole stepped into the shoes of W.C. Handy, the father of the blues, in the film St. Louis Blues, distributed by Paramount Pictures. This is a rare cinematic gem, not only showcasing Cole's talent as a singer and a pianist, but also brought Handy's music to life on the big screen, featuring an all-star cast, including Eartha Kitt, Pearl Bailey, Mahalia Jackson, Ella Fitzgerald, and Ruby Dee, along with the jazz great Calloway. Now, the critics wasn't very kind in this movie, but to me overall, it's still a classic movie. For it to have an all African-American cast, St. Louis Blues remains a must-see for jazz and blues lovers. In this video, we'll be taking a closer look at Nat King Cole's powerful portrayal of W.C. Handy. W.C. Handy was born in Memphis, Tennessee, November 16, 1873. He passed away in March 28, 1958. He had worked in minstrel shows from 1896 and was touring and recording with his own bands up until 1917. He owned his own music publishing company and a record label, and in 1941 published his bio, The Father of the Blues, many of his compositions and jazz standards, including St. Louis Blues and Memphis Blues and Careless Love. Handy was blinded by an accident in 1943, but continued to make appearances up until his 80s. The idea for the film was first marketed by producer George Gabarbadian, who wasn't attached to the picture. As early as 1954, it had the rights covered, and the studio was pitched to Paramount Studios. Paramount finally gave it the green light. From the beginning, the film was planned around Nat King Cole in the center role. Cole and W.C. Handy had been acquainted since 1943, and Cole discussed the possibility of playing W.C. Handy at a latter birthday party for W.C. on November 16, 1956, in Yonkers, New York. Cole recalled in an interview that Handy surprised me by saying he had long been a fan of mine and would be delighted to have me play him in the movie. In the later interview, Cole compared his own experiences to Handy. Nat stated he felt sort of like he was living his own life all over again. This film production presented the timely and logical opportunity for Cole to add to his already considerable accomplishments as a musician, singer, and TV star, provided he can carry the whole entire picture as the main protagonist. He had already completed supporting roles in China Gate with Gene Barry and Angie Dickinson, and Istanbul with Errol Flynn, both in 1957, and performed as himself in several other films. But St. Louis Blues, his performance would end up studied and wooden. Cole's undeniable charisma is nowhere to be seen in this film. He simply did not have the dramatic momentum to hold the story together. He was basically playing Nat Cole, playing himself. And I kind of heard the same thing in an interview with his guitarist, John Collins. He basically said the same thing. It was Nat Cole playing Nat Cole. Eartha Kitt plays Go-Go Jermaine, a honky-tonk singer trying to make it in the music business, and she pretty much doesn't let anybody get in her way at all costs. Eartha's sexy persona and elegant demeanor kind of feels out of place in this setting in this movie. Eartha Kitt was known for her part in the Batman television series as the original Catwoman. I don't know if she was the first or Julie Newmar was the first, but I know she was known for that part, and for her classic Christmas song, Santa Baby. I think her version of the song is better than Madonna's. Tell me what you think. There were rumors on the set of an affair between Eartha and Nat, which I can't confirm or deny. Really, to be honest, I don't think that really happened. I just think that they had a mutual respect for one another. And she also appeared on Nat's television show a couple of times too. I think they were doing a version of Think My Fair Lady. And Miss Eartha always said her favorite song of Nat's is Nature Boy. Eartha Kitt starred in a movie with Eddie Murphy called Boomerang, where she plays the seductive Lady Eloise. The late, great Pearl Bailey plays Anne Haggard, who helped raise the young Will Handy. Bailey doesn't actually sing a full number of her own in the film. She shares a part of a hymn with Mahalia Jackson, and in one scene, she hums and follows along, encouraging, while Cole, as Will Handy, is in the act of composing the song St. Louis Blues. Pearl's Aunt Haggard character is a version of herself. She pretty much puts her all into this part, and she does a pretty good job of it. She kind of reminds me of everybody's aunt, even though when she pretty much backs you up when you do right, and she certainly backs you up when you do wrong. And when she played this role, she just had a little more naive and maternal than her typical stage and on, her screen persona. Bailey had appeared in That Certain Feeling in 1946 with Bob Hope, and then she played in Carmen Jones along with Harry Belafonte and Dorothy Dandridge. Cab Calloway plays Blade, a nightclub owner of the Big Rooster. He's wearing a tailored suit and a carnation in his buttonhole. He's always eavesdropping on his employees and being rude to his customers, and hatching a scheme to steal Will's music. Normally you expect such a character to be so insecure towards Go-Go and possessive all the time, but this is 1957, so there is barely any hint of that. Cab Calloway stays true to the nasty Rooster character. You basically see that Rooster is very jealous of Will. He'll pretty much do anything to make Will look stupid so he can just keep Go-Go close to him, and also to try to make W.C. Handy's life miserable at all costs. Cab doesn't sing a note in this movie, but he did state in an interview that, "I don't know if the world is ready for a quiet Cab Calloway."
I hereby convey all mechanical rights, including phonograph records and player-piano rolls, as well as sheet music, for the sum of $50. So you got all you're gonna get, man. $50.
Legendary actress Ruby Dee was cast as Handy's faithful girlfriend Elizabeth. Ruby Dee was under contract at Paramount, but they really didn't know what to really do with her. An accomplished actress, she later starred in the stage and film productions of Raisin in the Sun in 1961 and Spike Lee's films Do the Right Thing in 1989, Jungle Fever in 1991. Ruby Dee's role in St. Louis Blues primarily consists of waiting patiently for Handy while he gets this crazy music or devil music out of his system, or pretty much agreeing with everything what the Reverend Handy had to say. Johanno Hernandez brought some serious acting chops to the role of Handy's strict Baptist minister father, Reverend Charles Handy, a classic actor with some dynamic parts on his resume. Hernandez had been a circus ringmaster, a vaudeville actor, a silent film actor, a performer in the 25th edition of the Cotton Club Parade, and had made numerous appearances on radio and Broadway. Some of his memorable film performances include The Intruder, In the Dust 1949, The Breaking Point 1950 with John Garfield, and Sidney Lumet's classic The Pawnbroker in 1964. Hernandez brings gravity and plenty of fire and brimstone to the role of Reverend Handy. And at just 11 years old, Billy Preston takes on the role of a young Will Handy, playing both the trumpet and the organ on the screen. He delivers a few lines, but he cries impressively when berated by his on-screen father. Later, Preston went to work with Ray Charles, Little Richard, and Sam Cooke, and he toured with the Rolling Stones, and he contributed work with the Beatles on Let It Be and Abbey Road. They considered him the fifth Beatle. There's a scene coming up where the Reverend Handy finds out that Will has got this trumpet, and it falls out of his Aunt Hager's purse, and Billy Preston does an excellent job with being pretty distraught, saying he's going to save his soul.
I'll save your soul.
Now, the great gospel singer Mahalia Jackson, who would not sing in blues or jazz songs, as a rule, played the part of Bessie Mae, a member of Reverend Handy's church choir. As you know, Mahalia Jackson is the queen of gospel music. This woman has sung for Martin Luther King, for the civil rights movement, when Martin Luther King did I Have a Dream speech, when they did the march in Washington, D.C. in 1963. In one scene, she leads the choir in a hymn written by Handy, Hush the Wind. Young Will, Billy Preston, starts to swing on the organ a little bit, and just as the beat picks up, Bessie Mae abruptly stops singing, and the song is picked up with a little more groove, a little more faster pace by Aunt Haggard, Pearl Bailey, with the choir backing her up, but the song is quickly interrupted by the Reverend Handy, who will have none of this devil's music, a theme he repeats throughout the film.
Stop this!
Let the dog.
Ella Fitzgerald plays herself, performing in a nightclub singing Handy's Beale Street Blues in a lifting and effective manner in her oneself brief scene. The fictional Memphis Jazz Quartet played behind Ella on piano, drums, and bass, led by Bill Green on the clarinet. She doesn't interact on the screen with any other actors. Handy happens to walk past the club, and he listens to Ella sing his own composition from the sidewalk outside, but chooses not to enter the club. Apparently, he's supposed to be emotional and distraught because he's frowning, undecided between the devil's music or secular music, more or less. The music score was overseen by Nelson Riddle. There was no soundtrack LP released for St. Louis Blues, and the album couldn't even be considered since the main stars were all under contract to different record labels. Nat, Pearl Bailey, and Eartha Kitt each released solo albums entitled St. Louis Blues that were tied loosely with the film. All three albums include widely different versions of just about all the songs in the movie, including Eartha Kitt singing the spiritual and Cole singing another version of Nelson Riddle's arrangement of the title tune. While St. Louis Blues was not a major box office hit, it remains an important film due to its remarkable ensemble cast and its role in preserving Handy, Nat King Cole, Eartha Kitt, and Pearl Bailey and Mahalia Jackson's legacy alive, along with Ella Fitzgerald, Billy Preston, Ruby Dee, and Mr. Hernandez, and Cab Calloway. It just adds another layer to their career, showing their admiration for one of the greatest composers. That will do it on my retrospective of St. Louis Blues. And as always, please like and subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon for new video updates. Until next time, take care. Bye.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being such a lovely audience. Like I always say, make the best of everything, because once you're dead, brother, life ain't worth living. This is our lovely way to spend an evening hope I may come again and spend it with you. Thank you. Good night. God bless you.
I've been looking every place for you. You're gonna make us late for church.
But Aunt Hagen, I was just playing.
If the open hymn is late starting again, your papa's going to... Now, what's